Hey guys, welcome to our team call for Tuesday, July 11th. Guys, we are going to summit tomorrow. Wave your hands if you're excited. It's going to be huge. It's going to be epic. It's going to be incredible. And if you're not going to summit, I know they'll live stream stuff, but you guys have to hold down the fort. Continue working. Immediately at Summit, tickets are going to be released for next year's Summit. I suggest that you get on it to pay, I think it's like usually only $99 for your ticket for the next Summit. Start planning ahead because you guys are going to have serious FOMO when you're watching the rest of us there. And with that being said, I know a lot of us have to go to bed early because we're traveling tomorrow. So I want to introduce a very special guest speaker tonight. What can I say about Rosie? Rosie is one of the most, what's even the word? Just someone so full of dignity. She's one of the most respectful people that I know. Her concern with coming into work this business is if she was going to be salesy or not, if she was going to be able to really help provide a service for people instead of just trying to like scam people, as some of us, have that misconception when we come into the business, because we know there are coaches like that too, but we want to be different. We want to lead with our heart. And Rosie's one of those people that gets it right. She is a Success Club All-Star. So that means that she definitely knows what she's doing. So Rosie, take it away and talk to us about building authentic relationships through social media.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Audrey, for having me. And I want to share my screen. How do I do that? Oh, share screen. Okay. Let's see. So I have some things that I want to show you guys. Let's see if this works. Now, do I have to do full screen it?
That's fine. We can see it.
I don't know. Is this coming up? Okay, perfect.
I can see it.
Great. So yeah, as Audrey said, and she kind of stole my my intro into this, but I'll kind of add along, as I go. But yeah, when I came into this business, I started as a discount coach, like so many of us do, and I was really concerned, and I went to Audrey and I said, Audrey, if I can't build a business with integrity and authenticity, then I don't want to do it. And so I'm going to try it out, and we'll see where it goes from here. And I'm a year and a half in, and I have earned Success Club All-Star. I've earned Success Club every single month since I started working the business. And I really am grateful because what I see is that I am building a foundation on building authentic relationships. And if I couldn't do that, then I didn't want to. So anyway, the picture that you're seeing right here, and many of you know, but if you don't know me, I'm Catholic. I am Christian, and my faith is essential to my life. So I can't help but weave it in, and I think that even if you're not, you can relate to what I have to say. So what I want to show you this picture of, and I don't know if any of you have seen it before, but it is a painting by an artist named Caravaggio. And he's an Italian artist. And I love his paintings because they're so real and they show the reality of humanity, of emotion in all of this. And in this picture, if you don't know the story, it's the picture of doubting Thomas. You guys, I think all of us have heard that phrase of don't be a doubting Thomas. But what I love about Thomas is how real he is. So in the scriptures, what happens is the scriptures say that, all of the disciples, Jesus died and he rose again, and they were freaking out a bit because this was crazy, right? And they're all hiding in a room, and they're scared. And Jesus appears to them and says, "Peace be with you, don't be afraid." But the only one of the 12 that was not there was Thomas. And so imagine being in this room, and Jesus appears and they're what's going on? This is amazing. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Thomas isn't there. So when he gets back, they all tell him, Thomas, Jesus was here. He's alive. He's with us. And he goes, what are you talking about? You guys are crazy, right? He didn't believe. He doubted. And what Thomas says in the scriptures, he says, until I can put my fingers into his hands, into his wounds, until I could put my hand into his side, I will not believe. And it's so human, right? We want that intimacy. We want that touch. So I don't know what a note just came up. Please move window away from the shared application. How do I do that? I don't know. Anyway, so we want that authenticity. So then, a week later, they're in the same room, and now Thomas is with him, and Jesus appears. And Jesus comes up to Thomas and says, Thomas, come here, put your fingers into my hands. Put your hands into the wound in my side. And you see that picture right there on the screen that you're looking at. And it's amazing because, he's actually taking his hand and like shoving it into him. It's graphic. It's kind of revolting. It's terrifying. And you see the others looking on with complete, and utter like, whoa, this is amazing. In Thomas's eyes, he's just like, whoosh. And what I love about this scene and this image is that I think it really depicts our desire for relationship. It depicts our desire to see, to touch, to feel, to know true authenticity, right? We want that. We all want that. And so as we go into building our business, and now this is where it relates to all of us, I like to think back to this scripture. Because when I relate to others, I think about Thomas. And I think about how Thomas wanted to see it with his own eyes and feel it with his, with his hands. And I think about how so often we're tempted. So if we're not building relationships, if, we come into this business and we're busy and we run out of time and it's the end of the month, especially, we're saying, oh my goodness, I haven't met my goal. And so we're so tempted to get out there and start cold inviting. Have any of you been there? Right. I've been there too. I've had this sort of, desperate desire to just be like, I'm just going to invite everybody. I'm just going to send a message, cold message, whatever. I don't even care. But don't do it. Because even if it takes you 3 months of not hitting Success Club because you are building authentic relationships, that I believe has much more integrity than just going out there and cold inviting. And you will also see that your success in closing with individuals will go up as well, because we're all Thomas. We want to know people. We want to trust people. And so I firmly believe that this is the way to do that, is to build relationships and to build them slowly and to really care about other people. And if we do that, then we will see success over and over and over again, because we've built relationships authentically with individuals. And so, but this can sound all kind of nice and theoretical, and this sounds nice, but now how do we put it into practice? So if you guys know the different gem types, I'm an emerald, which means I like systems. I like details. I like to know, what will the house be like when we go to Summit? What should I bring? What should I pack? A, B, and C. What will we be wearing now? What will we be wearing now? I like to know all the details. I like systems. And just because you use systems, that does not mean that you are not building authentic relationships. So I want you to know that. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a system. And I hope that it works for you. Tweak it, try it, and take what works and keep moving. Just like all of these things, all of this knowledge that we receive every week. So what I'm going to do is give you some examples on how I connect with people, but sort of in a systematic way. So I don't do this all the time. I kind of make it work based on the individual that I'm talking to. But the first step in building relationships then is to start the conversation. Start the conversation. So let's say we are using Instagram. Instagram is a great place to connect with people. What I would suggest, and I know Audrey has suggested this, is think about who you are as an individual. What are 5 things that describe who you are? Forget about health and fitness, although that may be a big part of your life, as it is for me and most of us now. But who are you? Are you curly haired? Are you faith filled? Are you a mom? Are you, a surfer? Whatever it is that really embodies who you are. And start searching those hashtags on Instagram. When you start searching hashtags that kind of go along with hashtags that you would use, that describe who you are, describe the life that you're living, you will find people like you. You will find people just like you. You might find people that are not like you and just happen to use that hashtag. It's okay. Don't worry about them. Find people who are like you that you would want to be friends with in real life. And then start a conversation. If you see a page of someone that you really love what they're doing, let's say you love crafting and you're looking up all these crafting hashtags, people who, post all those really cool things on Pinterest, those cakes and stuff that, Darlene makes cake pops, right? And you're searching these sorts of things because you love it and you see some really cool stuff. Awesome. Those are people that you would really want to be friends with in real life or learn from or, start a conversation with. So we flirt and flatter. Again, not in an inauthentic way, but in a way that's really honest. Be honest. So, here's a little, example, which is silly, but, hey, I love your page. I love what you're doing. You're totally killing it. And be real about it. And again, not exactly those words, but that's a little sense of what you can say to someone. And then, if someone said that to me about being a mom or, whatever it is, wow, thanks for saying that. If you're real and honest and authentic, they'll generally receive it as such. And so that's how you kind of start a conversation. You can direct message in Instagram. So that's what you do. You go find someone, go to their profile, and direct message them. I love what you're doing. Your page is great. I love what you're posting. You're totally killing it. Be honest and connect and flatter them on something real that you're excited about. Okay, so the next thing then is to continue to connect with them. And again, be real, be authentic. Look at their page. Again, if it's something that really connects with you, that is, something that you love, chances are you'll find people that have really cool things on their page that you can connect with. So I don't know. Here's just some examples. I love those blue leggings. Where did you get them? If you're talking to, fitness people or, whatever it might be. If you love dogs, if you have the cutest pup and you just, absolutely love your puppy, your dog is adorable. I have one just like it. Start a conversation and be real like that. I love talking to moms, and I see sometimes, I found this mom once that had this whole laundry system that she posted, and I genuinely was amazed. I was amazed at how she got all that laundry done. And so I would message her, how the heck did you get all that laundry done? What's your system? I need help, because I just find I'm always behind on laundry. And it's true. I'm always behind on laundry. So in a sense, you're leading them, you're connecting with them, you're asking them for value. And then you let them talk. Who doesn't like to talk about themselves? I find it always really affirming when someone asks me for advice and genuinely is looking for advice. And so I believe other people do as well. Okay, so now once you've started to connect and have a bit of a conversation, the next step then, let's say if you're on Instagram, is to move them to Facebook. Facebook is just a really great platform for you to continue to grow a relationship with them. and, you know, to continue in Messenger, to continue to, you know, kind of connect with each other on, you know, on their wall, on your wall, on your business page. So as that conversation continues, you know, you can say something to the effect of, do you have Facebook? Or if you like to connect with them on Snapchat or whatever it is, where is your, you know, your go-to to stay connected? You know, I'd love to stay connected with somebody like you because I like to surround myself with positive people, because I totally believe that if you surround yourself with positivity, that's what you get back. That's an example. Again, make it your own. You know, I really desire that, you know, to have friendships with other moms or other faithful women, you know, because of X, Y, and Z. It helps me, you know, stay, you know, keep the faith. It helps me have hope that I can get through a week and get my laundry done, you know, whatever it is. Be real and make it your own. And then just a fun fact, and I'm pretty sure that this is still the way it is, but once you make friends on Facebook, message that individual right away, because the Facebook algorithm actually makes it more likely that your post will then be in their feed. So they'll be able to see you coming up in their news feed more frequently if you message them right away. So just a fun little tip for you. And then finally, learn patience. Again, it's so tempting. You connect with someone and you just want to start talking about health and fitness right away. So the things that I've learned over this past year and a half in working this business is, first, have a good way to track, whether it is a planner, whether it's Teamsy, whether it's a good old notebook or an Excel spreadsheet. I just started using a program, which I think this is it. Like, this is finally, after a year and a half, this is going to work for me. It's called Streak, and it's an add-on for Gmail. You don't have to use it with your email, but, you know, you can track all your contacts, and then it kind of brings you through a pipeline with them. So, you know, a lead, someone that you maybe are connecting with on that first level, flirting with. Did you contact them? Have you made that contact? Have you pitched the, you know, a challenge pack or a challenge group with them? Are you negotiating that? Have they said, you know, this is great, but not now? Have they said absolutely not? Have you closed with them? So it's cool because you can see it all right there. It's called Streak, and it's an add-in for Google. And there's a whole bunch of them out there as well. So this way, when you track, you can keep track over the week, over the month. You know, you can message people every 3 to 4 days is a really good amount, so it's not overwhelming. And then I've found, and it makes sense, to build this relationship at least over 3 to 4 weeks. And you might find that a conversation might move naturally to health and fitness, but you might also find that it doesn't. Don't talk about health and fitness in these 3 to 4 weeks. And for some people, that relationship will take longer to develop. And you'll know that in 3 to 4 weeks, now this person is not ready for an invite. Just continue to build a relationship with them, and the time will come and it'll feel right. So no health and fitness talk for those 3 to 4 weeks. And then let them talk, let them share about their family and what they do for work, and, you know, what they do for fun. Do they like to travel? Build relationships and share what you have in common. Good things take time. And resist the urge to talk all about you. Kind of let them speak, because that actually builds trust and builds that bridge that really, you know, builds that trust. And just make friends and have fun with it. If you're finding yourself kind of trudging through and just miserable and feeling like you're salesy and all of this, chances are you're not really just enjoying this process and building really authentic relationships with people who you love and who are like you and who can actually become good friends, believe it or not. I had one girl, she has a girl around my daughter's age, and she lives, across the country somewhere, and we became friends about a year ago. And she hasn't joined my challenge group. She's not ready right now, but she actually, every now and then she'll message me and say, oh gosh, I wish we lived closer. Our girls would be such good friends. And I see that and I love that. And sometimes when I see a picture of her daughter, I'll comment, and will she be a future customer? Maybe, maybe not. But if we go in this with the intention of building authentic relationships, everything else will come through. So I'm trying to think. The other thing that I just want to kind of share with you is, if you want to learn more about this and read, listen a little bit more, read a little bit more, about building relationships. Hopefully I'm keeping this short and sweet, so those of you who need to get to bed, and get up early tomorrow for a flight can. I want you to kind of take note of a few resources. So this method that I have explained to you, it has a name. Alexis Doss, who's a coach, she did a whole YouTube video on what she calls the ADOS method for building relationships. And it's basically what I just explained. She goes into a lot more depth. Feel free to check that out. And another book, which Alexis actually recommends, called Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk, who he will light you on fire. He's very intense and very successful. And it's how to tell your story in a noisy social world. So yeah, that's it. Build relationships, be authentic. And you'll see consistency, and stay consistent. The 4 vital behaviors is really where it's at. And as Audrey said, invite, invite, invite is the first one. But if you follow through on this and build relationships, you'll be able to have all of these relationships that you're building, and you will be able to every single day to invite and invite and invite and invite, and extend an invitation to people to join your community, to join in in a sense, a deeper sense of relationship, to join your team, because you're in a deeper sense of relationship, and a real relationship, not a fake one based on sales. That if you decide not to, if someone decides not to buy a challenge pack, that you're just gonna kind of dump them and leave them. Anyway, that's not how I do business. And I hope that you feel the same way, and you would want to build your business like that also. I know Audrey said at the beginning, she said, there are some coaches out there that kind of do cold invites and just kind of are looking to sell and sell and sell. And again, all of us, I think, have fallen into that sense of desperation, that we just, this, or, maybe ignorance of not knowing how to build those relationships. But whatever the case may be, I know sometimes those coaches have given Beachbody a bad rap. It's a pyramid scheme. It's an MLM. Everyone, they just want to sell something to me. How awesome if we all committed to building authentic relationships, how the face of Beachbody would look to the outside world. We wouldn't be known as, that MLM that tries to sell me stuff, but we'd be known as individuals who authentically care about this disease, right? This obesity, that authentically care about helping individuals be their best selves, that authentically care about humanity, that, that we're different. Beachbody coaches are different. And I know so many of you are, and that's what drew me to this business. And so I just encourage you to continue on that path and continue to develop. to continue to just build relationships and be authentic in your business. So anyway, that's it, Audrey. That's all I've got. Does anyone have any questions? I'm gonna turn this share off somehow. I don't know how to do it. Stop share.
Thank you so much, Rosie. I always admire you for your integrity. So I don't think anyone could have done that any better than you. And I'm sure you guys have all learned a lot tonight. So yeah, I mean, she went over a ton of great stuff in a short amount of time, actually. Do you guys have any questions? Don't be shy. I mean, it takes time. You know, it takes time to develop and get into the rhythm of it, because I know that at first you're kind of like, what do I say to this person? But when you stop thinking of it like that and start thinking of it genuinely, like, how do I connect to this person? How can I add value every day? And just put yourself out there. You're going to meet incredible people if you start to look at your social media in that way. All right, guys, so let's call it a night, because I know Rosie's got to get up really early. Jessica's saying what happens when you connect, but then they don't want to pay.
Well, what I do, I think, is it depends on the person and the situation. So some people just say that, you know, they don't have the money now. And I mean, I was there. And Audrey was really so good to me at the beginning. I mean, I had gotten
not anymore.
What, always, Audrey. I think I had gotten a bootleg copy of Power 90 or something, and Audrey was like, "That's okay, I'll coach you," you know, and that was, you know, that was years ago now. But I was so grateful again for her integrity and taking, you know, her taking me on for getting nothing. And I remember my husband then at some point was like, "What is Audrey getting for this?" And I'm like, "Nothing." and he goes, "You go buy that Shakeology, you know, you go buy that for, you know," and honestly, I was never a shake person. And I did it, you know, because my husband kind of encouraged me to, but then I realized, like, wow, you know, this is fantastic. And it kind of all developed from there. So you never know what someone's situation is. In a sense, actually every month, I think, I look to, you know, just be open to adding, you know, at least one person to my group that, you know, to my community that I know really needs it and is unable to afford it, or, you know, doesn't see the value in it yet. And so, you know, I think that it really does depend on the person. You never know where someone is, and you can continue to walk with that person, or if it's a not now, then just keep connecting. And then down the road, they might want to jump in.
Jessica says that she finds herself investing a lot of time into those people. Honestly, you have to be talking to so many people that you don't feel like I have, because when you invest a lot of time into one person, it's because you feel like you need to close that one person. But the more people you speak to, like, honestly, I get a lot of no's. Most of my Success Club points come from people like months after I've developed a relationship with them. Hardly ever I get someone that just meets me and says, "Hey, I want to sign up." So I'll check in on them like once a month and just say hi, or make sure I like their posts and comment on their posts so that I'm always engaging. Molly, thanks for that tip. Prime Book 17 gets you a discount on some books on Amazon Prime Day today. Cal is saying, "My sphere of influence is small and I had a couple say sure, but I just don't have the money. How do you go about showing them the value in the long run? I don't notice these particular people invest money into other things rather than their health."
Yeah. I mean, I see that all the time also. And you know, someone who's saying, "Yeah, I want in," and then they don't, and then they go and they're buying like essential oils from, you know, this or that, you know. So yeah, there's always going to be people like that. I was like that, you know, I don't have money to invest in this, or sometimes we're like that in our business too, right? I don't have money to invest in training ourselves, you know, and training myself or going to this training. And yet then we, you know, we'll go and spend money elsewhere. And so in a sense, it's priorities. You know, we don't know what we're missing, or we don't know that it's everything that we've been waiting for, you know? And so I would say, yeah, it is the long run. How do you show them value in the long run? You know, you keep posting, you keep doing your 4 vital behaviors, you show them transformations, you know, you're connecting with them, you're building trust with them. But again, I think it goes back to also what Audrey's saying and Jessica's concern, you know, don't invest too much time in one person. And then, you know, your sphere of influence is small. I mean, when we started, they all are, you know, keep building, keep going onto Instagram and making new friends and building that sphere of influence. And it will take time, but I can assure you that if you're consistent and you stay with it, those will develop.
I completely agree. And that's why you always have to, like our call with Carlos last week, he talked about, you know, 80% of your time should be expanding your network and building relationships. So expand then. If you have a small circle of influence, keep expanding. Molly, what I said is as soon as Summit starts, so usually announce actually they do that.
It's closing night, right?
Yeah, closing night. So this week, be on the lookout for where Summit's going to be and where the tickets are going to be, when the tickets go out for release. They're probably going to be like $99. All right, guys, thank you so much. And I will see all of you guys tomorrow. And I'm so excited. Yeah. Rosie, thank you so much. God bless you. Have a good night.
All right, good night, guys.